was the interesting part when you first told me you did the Airbnb. I know you said you do long-term stays, right?
Right.
And to my experience, I've only stayed in Airbnbs, but I've only did it like when I'm going on vacation. And so it's like a weekend or, during the week or whatever, but I've never thought anybody would do a long-term stay in an Airbnb. And so that's a whole nother way to do it. What made you want to, well, I can probably imagine what made you want to do longer terms, but in the market that you're in.
Well,
is that a good?
When I was first introduced to Airbnb, like my son said, I was on my daughter's 8th grade trip to DC. So we stayed in a hotel. I stayed with her for a week, and then I stayed an additional week at an Airbnb because I was going to a conference in DC, a church conference. So I said, I'm gonna stay and, get a feel for the area. I didn't want to be in a hotel. I wanted to be in a neighborhood and, just kind of get a feel for how it would be if I lived in the DC, Baltimore, Maryland area. So that's what I did. And the lady I stayed with, she was a super host and she was renting rooms out. And she was just very nice, very open-minded. She was a Christian, a believer, and she was just really telling me about the business. I was like, this is my first time, kind of nervous, who all in this house,
Right.
But she actually lived in the house as well. She was a retired police officer. Her husband was currently working in DC as a police. And she said that the first time that they rented their house out, some rapper rented the house and had a big party. It was like 200 plus people in the house. They made the sprinklers go off, all this type of stuff. And she was just, like,
that's a short-term stay.
She was like, this, it was a short-term stay. And so I was like, I'm surprised you're still doing this. What would make you continue? And she was just like, she felt like God had showed her the worst in the beginning. So she knew what not to do. So she put up cameras and, she's checking in on the guests. She didn't leave people in her house anymore. And so she had advised me not to do like, allow bookings for like 1 or 2 days because more than likely they're having a party or something like that. So when I started out, that was like a requirement. You had to stay for at least a week. So I knew I wasn't getting someone who was just booking for a party. So